Morning, Juliet.
Hi, Sammy.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you too. How are you doing?
I'm good. Feeling a little bit rebellious about the whole New Year thing.
Oh, okay. Well, that's perfect timing because that's what we're going to talk about for 7.5 minutes this morning. Are we not?
We are.
Great. Well, let's dive straight in. So I've got the timer here, and I'm going to put it really far away from me once I press play because your headphones are really sensitive this morning, aren't they? I'm going to deafen you otherwise.
Yeah.
So I'm going to start it off and then we'll get into it. Yeah. So tell me, Juliet, why are you feeling rebellious about New Year?
Well, because it's this, I'm really becoming much more aware of the kind of default in our culture, in our organisations, that it's like an eternal summer. It's like rush, rush, rush all year, deliver, get your projects done. Oh, we've got a week, if you're lucky to, off over Christmas, and then it's back with a vengeance, and it's crack on, set your goals, pace. And of course, like that goes against the very essence of who we are and how reality is, which is we haven't evolved to be on the go all the time. And you only have to look outside. The irony is we're still pressing ahead and expecting people to be acting really highly productive when the seasons are still sleeping. The winter is a season of rest, and it's not just for Christmas.
Yeah.
So it's this kind of there's this mismatch between the biological imperative to rest that we see in the seasons and our bodies physically need, and the cultural imperative to be always on, super productive, growth. Now, you can understand how we've got here, but it feels like I'm experiencing in conversations with others, there's a growing resistance, like, I need to rest and recover at some point. And, our capitalist world has given us so many benefits and yet many outcomes that nobody wants. And one of them is exhaustion, people feeling their work is meaningless. It's labelled a lack of productivity, but at what point do we wake up and just go, actually, we're organic, fleshy creatures. We can't always be productive. So how do we create space for rest in our work? And if that feels too much, the real reason to do it is because it enables the growth that comes in the spring and the summer to be much more effective. There's no growth without rest.
But it's interesting because there are times when, as you were saying this, there are times when maybe not at an organizational level, but as a people level, we do accept that. So, when it gets really hot in the summer, you will hear people saying, well, of course, everyone's slowed down a bit because it's so hot right now, or everyone wants to be out with their friends or whatever. And in December, you'll hear people going, Christmas, it feels like it's already started. And so people are starting to, wind down, ready for Christmas. So it's like there's an unofficial acceptance that there's times of the year when we're less productive. But I think what then trips us up is this sense, particularly getting ready for Christmas, that then we stop at Christmas, whatever our stop looks like. But when we come back, we need to be renewed and ready to absolutely smash the year ahead. Despite the fact that it's still dark in the mornings until 8 o'clock, and and by 3:30, 4 o'clock, it's dark again. So this whole New Year, New You thing, I think, gives people permission to go, okay, in December it slows, but remember, when you're back on the 2nd of January, bam, we need to be on it.
Yeah, and for me, it starts on Boxing Day when it's like sales, come and get your bargains.
Yes.
It's like the rest is so small. You're right, there are threads of it that's still there, and yet I think we're missing the benefit of a richer rest.
Yeah.
For what that then brings in the new growth. There's less nutrients in it, if you like. So as consultants, I mean, you and I have had a
Mm.
really privileged position that we can genuinely deeply rest over the winter. I'm still waking up with the sunrise and I'm stopping early as it starts to get dark. Not everyone is in that position. So what I'm
No.
curious about is how do we weave this in small micro practices, if you like, into the fact that we might work in an organization that has a budget cycle, it has processes that are driving us into action. So how can we be in that?
Well, and so our company's end of year is end of February, which you can move your end of year as a company. It can be messy, but it's not that big a deal, depending on the size of the company. But that's quite interesting. So our new year will be the 1st of March,
Mm.
which does feel a bit more like, okay, right, now let's kick on.
Mm.
So I wonder what other big markers there are in organizational new years or in the year, in the cycle, where you go, actually, if that were to shift a little bit, like if we were to start setting goals or doing appraisals in springtime, how much more positive might our view on those be? Because we're literally just getting more vitamin D and sunshine in the day. Or not feeling that need to sort of go home and hibernate in those few hours that we get there.
Yeah. And maybe it's even smaller. I mean, that's at a quite broad process
Yeah.
level. Maybe it's even smaller in how we run a team meeting.
Yes.
Do we allow more space for reflection on what are we learning, what are we seeing, what are we noticing? Those kind of reflective questions that are making us much more present. What might this mean for how we then act in the projects we might do, without maybe driving so hard for timelines to be in this deeper season of deeper rest,
Yeah.
but to align with the spring, maybe.
Yeah, that's really interesting. So,
Um,
I mean, I would be quite happy to do, and we're sort of doing it actually, as much as we can, working shorter days in these winter months. And then in the summer, we know that we'll be working longer days, the likelihood is.
yeah.
And so just noticing actually those sort of peaks and troughs of literally when we're productive, because I think we try and force productivity out of people in quite a contained way, like these are the hours in which you should be productive.
Yes.
And wouldn't it be interesting if that was more tuned into actually what we're getting and what we're giving?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. So it's not like we have the answers.
Oh,
We never do.
well, that was a very good point to say. We don't have any answers at our 7.5 minute. But any pearls of wisdom? Anyone that's watching this? And I was with a client last week, and he was his second day back to work, and he said yesterday was really hard, and not just from having the break, but just from getting up and in the dark and driving an hour to be somewhere. So for those people who might be watching this and feeling the pressure to be on now, that really on when we are, 2 weeks into January, what might you gift them?
Yeah, how might you continue to value rest and how it nourishes the action that is to follow? This is the rest nourishes the seeds that are going to grow. So it's how can we bring more of an appreciation of that into our work? Yeah.
Lovely stuff. Well, we'll put that out into the world and hope that it gives one person at least a little sense of relief that they're not alone in feeling like this is a bit weird to be pushing this hard when we should be hibernating like bears. And yet we've had a really busy start to the year.
We've had a busy start, but I don't know. I feel like we've eased into it.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of action coming. Yeah.
There is. And it's a privilege, of course, to have that. Lovely stuff. Well, thank you. That was
Sammy.
really nice. I feel much more relaxed after that conversation.
Yeah.
See you later.
See you later. Bye.
Bye.